White House says that the ceasefire deal with Iran is a victory for the United States, and the two sides agreed to a 2-week pause in hostilities barely an hour before US President Donald Trump's deadline to obliterate Iran, which was set to expire. And Tehran has agreed to temporarily open the vital Strait of Hormuz. US calls it a victory, Tehran calls it a victory for themselves, and Israel also agreed to the ceasefire, saying that the White House let us tell you what happened in the hours leading up to the ceasefire. That's what we're going to start with right now. Well, it started with the post from the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who urged Donald Trump to extend his deadline on Iran, calling for a diplomatic pause. Now, the post had an edit history, and that gives more details than perhaps Pakistan intended to give out. According to widely shared screenshots, and you can go and see that post yourself as well on X, it shows an earlier version labeled Draft Pakistan's PM message on X. That's what the post starts with. It's there even now. Well, the alleged draft version also urged diplomatic progress in the West Asia conflict and called for extending measures linked to the Iran standoff, but it triggered speculation about whether the message was pre-scripted for the Pakistani Prime Minister and who had pre-scripted it. For anybody within Pakistan to write that message for the Pakistani Prime Minister, they would simply refer to him as Prime Minister and not mentioning the country that he is leader of. Amid all of this, strikes continued in Iran. The country also hit back. Explosions were heard in the United Arab Emirates and Qatar. US President said that he was aware of a request by Pakistan's Prime Minister for a 2-week extension to a US deadline for massive strikes on Iran. 5 explosions were heard in the center of Baghdad, where the US embassy is located. 2 civilians, one of them an 8-year-old, were killed when a projectile crashed into their home. Protesters stormed the Kuwaiti consulate in the Iraqi city of Basra after a rocket fired from the direction of Kuwait that killed 3 people and wounded 5. These were scenes from Basra in Iraq, near the Kuwaiti consulate. Intense scenes. Looking at other nations in the Gulf, Saudi Arabia said that it intercepted 5 missiles that were fired towards the kingdom's east, while Iran pressed an aerial campaign against its neighbors. And let's look at what happened in Israel. Israel's military warned residents of Tyre in South Lebanon to evacuate as Israel continued to target the Iran-backed group Hezbollah. Well, Trump had said that Iran had sent a workable 10-point proposal to the US in a post on his Truth Social network. Trump said that it was ready for a ceasefire if Iran completely reopened the Strait of Hormuz. Iran then said that it would guarantee safe passage for maritime traffic through the vital Strait of Hormuz for 2 weeks. Iranian foreign minister said that the period would be used for talks with the US on ending the war, starting with Friday in Islamabad.